Hello and herzlich willkommen zum Auf Die Fresse WXW review podcast in English. I'm Ian Hamilton, joined as always by Mike Kilby. Mike, is it too late to say glückliches neues Jahr?
Easy for you to say. I was admiring that music. It was like a Too Unlimited, but like rock version.
One of the many tracks for the overdubs.
No. There's no limit.
Oh God, I'm having flashbacks to the Irish tag team now.
Yeah, they are bad flashbacks, aren't they?
Yeah, Shooting Star press into a bar in Wimbledon. That's the one and only time I saw them, and never again. Disappeared somewhere, I think. But so, how's your Christmas and New Year's been?
It's all right. I don't really do either of them really. I went to the pub a bit before Christmas because I had time off, but that was about it. I mean, I was working for most of it, so weren't really that excited, to be honest. But you know, hey, the best thing about Christmas is that it gets to January and I'm like, well, it's only like 2 months to Carat, so
yeah,
that's always the good thing about the new year.
And there's been an absolute whack ton of announcements, and you know, had a load of names announced. And I guess there's only one place we can start this off. Not going to play the song because it's probably going to get copyright struck, but he's coming home. Oscar's returning to WXW. He's going to be part of 16 Carat Gold in March. So obviously it was last week, Wrestle Kingdom and New Year Dash were two big New Japan shows to start the year. Oscar had his final match as a young lion after New Year Dash show, teaming with Yuto Nakashima.
Against Screw Destiny, wasn't it? Yeah.
The new IWGP Tag Champions of Hikuleo and El Fantasma. That's a weird one. Bear in mind, it was 4 years ago, before the pandemic, we saw them in the cockpit.
They were actually a team, weren't they?
Like a thrown together Rev Pro Bullet Club team. Now they're on top of Tag Division in New Japan, which did not predict that. But so yeah, Oscar, he's coming over to Europe. It's going to be his first Carat tournament, but of course he had worked Carat before. 2 years ago, he won the Academy Trophy from Golden Boy Santos and did the first round of Ambition, losing to Fuminori Abe in the first round. Not announced, at least the time we've recorded. Of course, Sod's Law will record this tonight. Wednesday, directly probably announces. I wouldn't be too shocked if Yuto Nakashima's part of Ambition, either the tournament or whatever you mean. If you want to do a whole politics, Yota Tsuji was in WXW a year ago, so I think that ship's no longer in port. But outside of WXW, Oscar and Yuto have been announced for Rev Pro next month. Live at 2 to 9, so that's getting quite a few eyeballs. And who knows where else? I mean,
yeah, it's interesting. I don't know whether he's. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say to me that he is doing his excursion in Europe, really. It just seems that he's just got some bookings initially, really, more than anything. But it seems that they both are staying together, at least, initially.
Yes, I mean, something we've been covering this in the International Superstar stuff. They haven't really been a formal tag team, but a lot of the post-match comments they do, they've been really pushing to be a tag team. Like the World Tag League last year, they were pushing big time to be part of it. Of course, we weren't in the end, but let's say the initial booking we've got, or first one I've seen at least, has been with two of them as a team. It wouldn't surprise me if that's where the majority of their work is. Obviously we've said first bookings for Rev Pro, we've obviously got the WXW stuff, or Oscar has at least. The post-match comments after New Year Dash, they mentioned, Oscar mentioned, maybe going to CNL do Lucha stuff, maybe AEW, or maybe Ring One, maybe a bit more likely, the whole taped thing. Maybe
I wonder if
down to Australia. I mean, I don't.
Hamburg is the homecoming show, maybe before Carat.
Would not surprise me.
It makes sense in my eyes, but.
And this was Oscar mentioned this as well in other comments. This is like something that shouldn't be said. He did mention in his post match stuff is that apparently has cancer. That
Oh, okay.
maybe I don't want to say that's the reason why, but obviously if you're having a choice, maybe more European stuff, especially if you've been in Japan for 2-3 years and you've been away from your family a large part of the time. I would certainly explain it, but hey, it's first it's another name for Couch, and it's been the first young line we've probably followed through. It's come back and gotten a lot of eyeballs onto back
Well,
to the WXW. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see
effectively,
how long it lasts.
we've been able to see somebody from effectively their first match, really, haven't we?
At least
We've
in
been,
Europe, yeah.
um, yeah. Well, if he had any matches, it would have been dojos in New Zealand. So, his first match of any sort of importance is anyway would have been obviously in WXW. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be sort of have him back, and I've always sort of compared him to you're a football man like myself, obviously, but it's when we had Oscar at first, it's like when there's a phrase of nothing hurts more than catching feels for a loan player. Like when you get a player on loan for your football team, and you love them to bits, but then they just go away.
I'm at
This
Diallo
is
last season, and we're never
yeah,
getting
yeah,
him back.
yeah. Compared to Keane and Dewsbury Hall or someone like that. That's one of the deep cut for any Luton fans. But yeah, so yeah, it was very much Oscar's very much the lone player who we all caught feels for, and we've got him back again for a bit. So that's absolutely delightful, and I'm also really really happy that he's with RevPro as well, at least initially. I'd probably assume he will work there a bit more regularly, especially if he is sticking around in Europe. Listen, if he's working WXW and RevPro, I don't think there's
Dream
anything
team.
better. I don't think there's anywhere better you can work. Short of being stationed in Ring of Honor or something like that. Well, probably that's better, but yeah,
Well,
really,
in terms of
there's
frequent shows, I mean, I'm just pulling up the schedule. So they're coming over from not February, because Mirth Pros had their one show this month, but February 4th, 11th, 18th, 20th. So every Sunday in February we've got a show.
yeah. So if it,
WXW
yeah,
got ignore the Academy stuff. The 9th, the 10th, the 24th. So you've got 7 between the two there. Then of course you're into Carat seasons. All the
but
endless other promotions that are running just in
you
UK and in Germany.
you don't need to ignore the academy stuff either, because like Wednesday night heat, you can stick Yuto on a Wednesday night heat match against, I don't know, Danny Frey or something, and it's just another. Every match is a learning experience, isn't it? So it's
But the only reason I said ignore is because we've only got 2 announced, so I didn't want to factor stuff in and hadn't been.
well, yeah.
But yes, I mean, no, it's 2 big name. Well, Oscar, especially a big name, Yuto assumed is going to be making the trip along to Germany, and I mean, I was looking
I'd be surprised if
Yuto's.
he didn't.
I mean, I was looking at his Instagram, get social media right, his Twitter account last night, and with some video of him doing like kickboxing training in the gym in Japan. He is bloody scary. Like, even if you take don't put him in ambition, but have him as like the super fight. There's someone who's hand you with his fists and feet, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, yeah, he is a kickboxer, isn't he? And I think kickboxer and amateur wrestler, isn't it? I believe he does. So like MMA, judo, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean he's exactly the person you want in in ambition, really. Um, I think yeah, he would be he'd be an interesting person to have floating around. I don't think he'll be in Carrot. At this point, I don't think he really should be. But he'd be an interesting person to have floating around, maybe even as someone in the alternate four-way, that sort of thing. That would be a really interesting sort of place for him. But
Like your wild card.
yeah, chuck him in the alternate four-way, or could you chuck him into the Road to Carrot tournament in Bielefeld?
Which,
Even
I
if
mean,
he,
we've got. I mean,
sorry,
Mason goes
yeah,
up, so Oscar not the only name announced. As you just mentioned, they're doing the Road to 16 Carat Gold show in Bielefeld, February 10th. That's sold out. 3 spots on the line for Carat there. Normally, it's like a mini tournament with 2 semi-finalists going through. So who knows what that's going to take? Maybe it's just a bunch of qualifying matches. We'll see. In terms of names also announced, Michael Olku added to Carat. He beat Mike D the anniversary show, then um, no, confirmed his entry for Carat. So originally that was going to be Olku and Alex Kane, and that went by the wayside. Mike D's got Leon Slater dead end next month. We've also got another qualified dead end, Lawrence Roman and Bobby Guns. 2 more names announced, actually in Carat. Peach Tahani and Leo Rush. Of course, Rush was meant to be part of the lineup in, 4 years ago, 2020. Got pulled the week of a show of Jeff Cobb replacing him. So hopefully, I mean, it's not a WWE contract, so you think there's nothing pulling him this time. No, knock on wood.
Fingers crossed, anyway.
Other Carat related stuff, Inner Circle 15 sold out. Last of tickets actually went before New Year's Eve, thanks to Alan Cheapshot. So I think that's going to be the earliest Inner Circle, at least in Gelsenkirchen's gone. Like, I know the Tag League one, we were questioning, like, is it really sold out? They did announce it as such, but
Well,
for this one to be
it would go
sold,
out of sale in October when it was bloody Essen, wouldn't it?
yeah. I mean, that was your hot ticket. Like, oh, you can wait for your, your Carat and Tag League tickets, but Inner Circle, you had to pounce on them in Essen. This one, getting back to the old days, and yeah, I just hope they keep those windows open, especially knowing what weather's going to be like, what weather's like last March anyway.
Yeah.
A few more names for the wildcard show. So this is the, you submit your CV thing, last year, and they're picking names. So we've got Avatar from Hungary, not Al Snow under a mask. We've also got Derek Neal. He's a former New South Wrestling champion from Alabama, current St. Louis Anarchy Gateway Heritage champion. He's had that for just over 18 months. And Sapphire Reed, who until this past weekend was Eve's champion. So couple of names we know, one probably not so much, but yeah, that wildcard show, the roster's definitely firming up, and I think it's Ambition. Still no names for that, which is getting me a little bit nervous at this point.
Yeah, not enough names. But then I think a lot of it looks like it's close to selling out anyway. So I don't know if there's anybody who would maybe be pushed to. I feel like a lot of it is sort of they can spread it out because they don't really need to rush. And also you've got there's two marquee events to come, isn't there? Still, so sorry, there's one marquee event plus another a couple of We Love Wrestling shows. There's a lot sort of going, isn't there? Before, so you can sort of spread it out.
Yeah, I mean, looking now to Ambition, front row's gone, but not plenty of seats. But yeah, I've got plenty of time. I mean, I've never done like an Ambition qualifying match, so maybe that's something they fool around with, like maybe on the Bielefeld show. Yeah, so a few more names there for Carat. We've got something up on the website backbodydrop.com, like all the names in one place, so you're not having to click around all the different tweets and what have you. And once cards might get announced, we'll start adding those in as well. I guess one other news bit as well. So the WXW did the Academy show December 20th. That's the annual one where the kids draw the match graphics, and it's like donate what you want for charity. Raised brings about €1,700 for the, and I'm going to try and get this in one go, the Deutsche Knochenmarkspende Datei, which pretty hefty chunk of change for that, that close for holidays. So yes, that's fair amount of names going up for Carat, and guess just after the Academy show, Mike, we had the 23rd anniversary show, and
Yeah.
this one, they got the VOD out pretty quick. If you okay for the German edit, we have had it on the 27th of December. The English and German TV edit, for a better word, came out about a week later.
Yeah.
Without going into match by match, what was your thoughts on the show on the whole? Because I know going in, all the big talk was, what the hell are we doing with the women's title, and as we'll talk, they ended up getting rid of it. But yeah, this feels like something we've been saying a while for these big shows. Bit of a mixed bag, but nothing outright horrible.
I thought it was a very easy watch.
Yeah,
I think more than anything else. Like you say, nothing was horrible, but nothing particularly stood out either. I think there's probably I think the main event and the Oku match, Oku Mike D match, were probably the strongest points, but the floor was very high. If we sort of say that, I don't think nothing absolutely stung or went longer than it needed to, really, in my eyes. Even some of the things that I'm not so hot on, that wasn't really that bad either. Yeah, but I think all in all, actually, this was probably one of the better. I actually feel it's probably one of the better sort of non-A-list marquee events of the year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like your best non-festival weekend show.
I think it was one of the better, one of the better B-list marquee events. So
Yeah.
it was a very good one.
So we'll just go through results quick. So we've had 2 Fight Forever matches. These are up on YouTube for free. We've got the videos linked in the review on the website. Rotation won the Shotgun Championship in a 10-minute scramble match. That's suddenly was his first title in WXW for his 13 years there, which I thought he would have been like maybe a tag title run or something, but nope.
Well,
First,
he was the DTU champion, wasn't he?
the Alto Impact, which
was considered a WXW title for a while, wasn't it? But
who's got that these days? Because I know it's a lucha title, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from Mexico, isn't it? But it's somewhere.
So it's
We find it's held by somebody horrible like Travis Banks or something. I don't think it's that.
Ace Austin, but he hasn't. He's held it since September 2018.
Yeah, I don't think that's going on anymore.
He won it at a Rockstar Pro show in 2018, beating Alex Colon and Zachary Wentz, and it hasn't been defended since.
That's like Jeff Jarrett and the GHW World Championship.
And it's not like DTU haven't been running shows; just that belt has not been mentioned. So, hey,
it's been lost in lost in customs somewhere.
Oh, it's on Ace Austin's mantelpiece, one of the two. But hey, if we don't ask you to defend it, we can't strip you of it. So, but I thought the scrum match was pretty good. It wasn't one of those where people losing to roll ups all the time. I did think towards the end was getting maybe a touch. I don't say contrived, but when you have it against the clock and it's the whole, people are waiting to hit the cues and what have you. But again, what I would say is was the last 4 was it. It was rotation beating. Was it Alex Duke with the victory over Gravity? But again, Bobby Guns. I know they've been doing the whole. He's wavering. He's not used to singles wrestling, and his form's not great. But I'm still a bit nervous about Bobby Guns. Like just since Tag League.
He's done now, is he?
It means I wouldn't say he couldn't find the search party, but they've deliberately kept him off the spotlight. And maybe that's got to be by design, you'd think, at this point.
Yeah, I don't really know the reason for it. It's a bit of it has been slightly bizarre booking. I think I don't know whether the whole AAA thing made them just call off on him slightly. I don't know whether that was the AAA Germany, not Mexico. I don't know whether that made them sort of go, let's maybe pump the brakes for a bit, just in case they went all of a sudden says, oh, by the way, we're making him exclusive. I don't know if that ever was a thing, but
no, a worst case, this is the whole I would say paranoid politics kind of thing. But I suppose the last thing you want to be doing is, I'm not saying we're going to make him your champion and have the noisy new kids on the block beating like a drum, but again, we'll see. I mean, he is getting a Carat qualifier, so who knows if that's like his backdoor in and he's got that whole redemption story. Especially since Axel Tischer looks to be nowhere near Carat. I mean, heck, he lost the qualifier to Amanda's a tag league, so a tag festival. So you'd expect he's not going to be nowhere to be seen. But we see where Bobby goes. We've got a dead end against Lawrence Strowman, so we'll see in about a month's time whether that amounts to anything. Of a pre-show match, we had a debut, at least on tape, for Jane Nero beating Michelle Green in 5 minutes. A little weird there, debuting, because that Tank was in the Grungespan show. Now Nero, a little surprised we're debuting, new additions to, you can even call it women's division. Now there's no belt, but new faces, and didn't look too bad for the time, but obviously still pretty raw. And I think she's a Axeman trainee as well, so
Yes, I
no,
believe she is.
getting reps in. I know she's done a few academy shows as well, and a few non-recorded extra shows. So getting reps in, not going to do anyone any harm, is it?
Yeah, I think it's she. There's sort of there's sort of been just a big sort of new generation sort of coming through. So I think it is obviously going on to results later. It is a bit of a I mean, it's good that they are still investing in that division, regardless of whether there is a title or not.
Yeah. Well, it's gone back to sort of 2015,
Mm,
2016, where
mm.
you had women's division, but just nothing obvious to go for. On the main show, we opened with Paige Tahani beating Fast Time Mudo. This was fine, but it's like the one thing that just stood out for me is, you've a tag team partners, they split up. You didn't get that sense for it. It was like the split was, Mudo being jealous of Tahani,
There
getting his
wasn't
music coming out first. It was just a match.
there
And that's
wasn't
not
any
knocking either of
fire.
them.
There
There's
wasn't
just no
anything.
spice.
Yeah, there wasn't anything sort of fiery about it, was there? Um,
Which,
yeah,
again, I don't know. I mean, we'll talk later about what's next for Mudo, but to me, it just felt very much like, it was a match. It wasn't off, but it's like what I was expecting from it. It was just sorely lacking.
yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't. There was no. There was no bite to it. I didn't think it was very lethargic. I think in place. It was fine as a match, but yeah, you needed a bit more, to get your teeth stuck into really, and it didn't. I didn't feel like it really had any of that.
Next up, bet from the next match, which actually didn't happen. Baby Allison Maggot against Massive Love, Yearn and Lavaniel. Lavaniel attacked Yearn Simmons before the match, so that team is toast. Maggot tried to talk sense into Lavaniel. He got laid out as well. Baby Allison stormed out,
Stormed
and
off. Yeah.
that's something that's going to come up when we do the shotgun vlog. That seems to be heading somewhere, but yeah, Massive Love breaking up after what 3-4 matches. Tag Festival and a few odds and ends. Um, Very curious to see what they do with Lavaniel because obviously the year before he won the world title there, and now he's what second? No, would have been second on the card. Throwaway tag match. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. Whether they do the whole "you people," the typical WWE explanation. Where they put Lavaniel, do they lump him in with a high performer? Does he stand alone? Um, does he start proclaiming his love of the old WXW Rona rather than Lieber all the time? But yeah, it's a curious choice, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and if they run out of ideas, they can always just stick in with Norman Harris again.
It's New Year, Mike.
I just,
Leave
I
that
just, I
behind.
heard, I heard the frown on your head there.
And besides, no. I mean, you have to turn Norman babyface at least. When it's a tag team, that could be different, I guess. But moving on, of course, we had the sound system. I don't know what the deal was throughout the show. This was all over the place.
Yeah, the sound was bad.
And I don't know what. Now, I do not profess to be in any way an expert, so let's get that out of the way. The sound and video, the entrance videos are clearly not linked up because the videos were going on, the music wasn't. But I don't know if it's like a dodgy laptop, a dying hard drive, but what we joke about the Bremen sound system may well be something a bit close to home. So hopefully it's something we can fix because the last thing you want is as we'll find out the main event is happening the worst possible part of the card. But next we had Rotten Flotter and Sebastian Hackle against Axeman and American Tristan Archer. Um, we're both not sold on Hackle, and I I know what we're
We're
doing.
not the audience, I think, is the problem.
Yeah, we're not the odds. We don't watch or listen to Hackle doing WWE commentary every week. For me, what the biggest thing is, it's his promos. We said, "Oh, I'm not just a WWE commentator. I'm a wrestling fan." Well, great.
Yeah,
You say, "No, I'm a wrestling fan." Well, okay, but to me, it's and again, we no the big waving flag. We are not the audience for this. I don't know why I'm meant to want to care about this. Bear in mind, he came in as a former wrestler. Now the guy you've all heard do WWE for how many years he's been doing it. I mean, the match itself, this wasn't too bad. You know, we're still, obviously it's building up to Axeman and tackle it back to the roots, which, theoretically keeps that away from Coward Weekend if they want to go that road. But yeah, I mean, match was perfectly serviceable. It's just for me, I this isn't I don't want to see Hackle. It's not like I'm going to walk out, change the channel or anything like that. Just does nothing for me though.
Yeah, it just means, as I say, I think it just means absolutely nothing to me. There's nothing to. I don't think he's adequate really as a worker. I don't think there's really any. It's just a very The cynical part of me just wonders, what is he? What are we getting out of it? We're not getting anything.
I mean, I'm said we don't watch WWE, let alone the German version. Is this stuff being plugged on WWE TV, or is it just if you follow them on social media and whatever the media we're getting from this? But at least we've been built as a storyline. We've built it up. We've had Tisha, not exactly respecting Hackle, and now we're doing the whole thing at Back to Roots, where if Sebastian Hackle beats Tisha, he'll shake his hand and get his respect. But yeah, it almost felt like this could have done with that whole stipulation of win this match and you get the match with Baxman. May as well have been,
Yeah,
because that's what we did afterwards.
I just feel like it's just that was a bit bizarre. I mean, I kind of get the whole Axel Axel thing, but if this goes anywhere near Carat, I think there's a genuine chance that Axel could go into it as gets the Carat crowd behind him as the face, because I don't. Hackle means nothing to anybody, and I think the smart fans know that Axel's the Don, man. We just know he's the best.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a bit of a. It's not quite as much of a concern as maybe the world title picture was like this time last year, but this is one of there's always a thing we look at in January and go, ooh, they need to maybe sort that out by Carat, and this looks like to be that for it this year.
What did you think of Axman's dig comparing Hackle to Tim Visa?
I think it's spot on. Well, in fairness, I mean, Hackle can actually sort of work. I don't think he's the basics are there, and he can sort of do the promos. They're okay, but he's really shown up against anybody. I think even when he's fought some of the trainee guys, and I say trainees, like some of the people from the academy, they're showing him up. And they're really having to. If you're having to have somebody else lead a match who's maybe been wrestling for less than 2 years or whatever it is, it's not a good sign for me.
I mean, what I would say, and this isn't a dig, but because I've looked up his Wikipedia page, at least Tim Visa got a WWE match under his belt. Looking on Cage Match November 2016, team with now Claudio Castagnoli and Sheamus to beat Bo Dallas, Epico and Primo, which there's a bloody time capsule of November 2016. Apparently 10,000 according to Cage Match, so I mean that's a hell of a crowd. Not
It was
the
Cologne,
kind
wasn't it? Or something?
Munich.
Munich. Okay, well.
Which again is probably the only date they did in that swing because never played for Bayern Munich, so it's like the whole thing of again I suppose Kaiserslautern, we're probably not going to stop there. Bremen, not Cologne. I don't know if Cologne had a big enough arena at that point. Even then, Cologne was like his very early days, so I guess
Cologne's got a big. Well, he wasn't at FC Cologne at Fortuna, but
Fortuna, yes. And I'm talking really early days. Kaiserslautern, Werder Bremen, and Dying Days Hoffenheim.
Sorry, when you said arena, I thought you meant the wrestling arena because obviously they have the Lanxess, the hockey arena, which is where they run. So,
but so see where this goes. I mean, I don't say my big fear is Back to Roots is a draw, and then they do stretch to Carat or a Carat qualifier, but I don't know. Just to me, I would have thought Carat would have been the natural spot, tempting fate. But if they're pulling this off early, then who knows where it goes. Again, we'll see. Speaking of a feud which they are building up or putting to a bigger platform, Joseph Fenech Jr. against Idle Blanc. So this is their first time meeting after Fennec unmasked Igel Blanc at Tag Festival. This one went just in the quarter for an hour. Pretty decent for time it got, but the finish was absolutely a throwaway, set up a rematch. Fennec unmasked Igel, but he had a second mask on. Someone's been watching. What was it on Wrestling with Regret? Maccabee Mania.
Okay.
Which it sounds like you've not watched them, but we did the Brian's interviewed these all these legendary wrestling shows. It was to raise money for some Jewish athletics events, and the guy who ran it wrestled under a mask, and we did the same thing where he's going to be went to draw. It's like, well, I'll unmask if I get 5 more minutes, and he took the mask off. We had no mask underneath. It's the same kind of thing.
Well, it was a bit
but
like
yeah,
the Sting, the
yeah,
whole Sting thing. Yeah.
it was exactly the same mask underneath. So it was basically,
Yeah.
I'm going to take my mask and show my Sting face paint mask. Okay. But yeah, Igel punted Joseph and Fenix to get a DQ. They're doing a rematch at Back to the Roots in the K-Fix Schlacht, which was the one match I did not expect to be in the cage, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting choice.
interesting choice. And yeah, I mean, hey, I think it's the first time I've done a singles cage match outside of Andy and Ilya all those years back. So yeah, see where it goes and what the blow off is, because at this point, Fennec, he's in Carat. I don't know if you add Igel into Carat. We've got one spot left outside of qualifying matches. Yeah, to me, it just seems like Igel, at least for way of what's been announced, he needs a win because he doesn't seem to be doing too much going to Carat this year, based on what's been announced at this point.
There is also, I think, with Igel Blanc, there's also the Spectre, not a negative, but he obviously is also, he did have that sort of run in Japan last year. He
Yeah.
could possibly be, they might say, yep, you can come out, and he's sort of maybe got to wind things up for a couple of months and back in the summer. I don't know. That's possible as well.
And this past weekend, you had Mustafa Ali for APC, which is apparently a really good match. If that ever lands on tape anywhere. Next up, we had Norman Harris doing an open challenge. Really playing on the absolute Andy. Have the open challenge. We're here to remember a true star. Pay tribute to a former Shotgun champion. Then of course was about him. Open challenge answered by returning Stephanie Mays. Won in about 5 minutes. Fine for what it was. Stephanie May's been out for 18 months, at least into XW. She's done some stuff for, was it IWI? Again, it's where I type away to see what. Because she won the title on her comeback and then lost straight away. IWI in Amberg. Eichstatt, in September, beating Hector, then losing to Mark Empire. And she's done a few bits pieces, but yeah.
She'd been going for professional kickboxing. That was what she had sort of headed towards.
So back to wrestling only is like maybe sidebar, maybe, or at least out of competition.
Yeah, I don't know, but she was doing professional, not professional, but she was doing like actual kickboxing. That seemed to be what she trained for. Don't know what that.
If that becomes the new Jack, well, we'll see, because we'll touch on the shotgun stuff. They are putting it back in with Mudo, so whether that's like a comeback and write off kind of thing, we'll see. Next up, Mike DeVecchio against Michael Oku. Oku beating Mike Dean just over quarter. Now, for me, this was best match from the show. I would say it's your typical Oku match in terms of him being beaten up and thrown around, but we say this every time, Mike, but Mike D, it ain't fair the stuff he can do. Like, it's just every single time you never get bored of it. It's just, how the hell can someone his size do half this stuff,
Yeah, it's he's just an anomaly, really. He's somebody. I think I feel it's a bit of a shame that we've maybe not had him for as long as we possibly could have. Hopefully, he will sort of still sticking around. Obviously, there is the Impact. TNA now. TNA sort of implications surrounding him. So whether that is a thing where we maybe he's there more often or not, I don't know. But I don't suspect he'll be there full time anyway. But
you'd expect, I mean, winning the gut check thing, you'd
yeah,
expect it to be like, definitely if they do any European tours and maybe they
he's got to be
do
on
like
there. Yeah,
big shows. But yeah, I mean, we've got the same thing for Leon Slater as well and Harley Hudson, as well. So a couple of names, maybe seeing a bit more. But yeah, I mean, I would say Roku after the match, he crowd chanting 16 carat at him, then tried doing the whole, oh, this is my last time in a WXW ring this year because next time I'm be back, it'll be Marshall, it'll be the Carrot. So he's in, and I guess if you want to be cynical, he's going to beat Alex Kane anyway. But yeah, we will never know. Moving on to the tag titles, so Dennis Stolnik and Hector Invictus beating Icarus and Roman to regain the tag titles. They lost at the Broken Rules. Was pretty decent. Again, we did the whole thing of everyone not pretty much wearing down Hector, so wearing down Dolnik the whole time, and Hector doing the comeback. Yeah, I felt this at this point I would probably want to move away from this. I know we've only had the one match, well, three if you want to count Tag Fest, but move away from Amboss in the tag picture. But I don't know if you do that, what do you do with Amboss? Bear in mind the whole thing's been we have all the belts.
but I think there's also there could be stuff that could bubble over in time. So I think Hector and Dennis, I think they. You are right. They do maybe need to get away from it, but I think things like Rotten Flot would be good. You got the stuff you could do with High Performer Limited. You've got other random teams you could throw together.
Young Bloods.
Yeah, exactly. So there's lots of things you can do with them for a while. And I presume they'll do the gauntlet thing at Tagfest as well. Sorry, not at Tagfest, at Carat. So yeah, as long I think Amboss isn't sort of the be all and end all, and I think Amboss can do stuff internally. They can go after someone else. If Dreisker's in got a big match for Carat, obviously we don't know yet, but if he has got a big match for Carat, he'll need them as heaters, won't he? So.
Absolutely. And again, we'll see probably coming out of Broken Rule, not Broken Rules, Back to the Roots, where that is. Of course, main event, the title unification match, Robert Dreisker and Masha Slamovich. Noticed at the start of the show, Amboss had a new shirt with the Absolute Andy crosshairs on, which was a pretty nice touch.
I did like that, yeah, did see that, yeah.
Don't know if they're going to be selling those, but if not, yeah, it's a nice nod in their own way of paying tribute on. Because maybe the Savage Show we did do the 10 bell salute. We mentioned last time we're doing the Hall of Fame as well, so let's see where that goes. But yeah, main event, and obviously Oberhausen massive behind Masha here. This was a little bit shenanigansy, which you'd expect. But when the crowd early on, Masha got chucked into the third row. Dreisker again doing like the Jurgen Klinsmann like dive into chairs when he's being thrown. Poor Rhino Ringer just absolutely ate shit taking a chair to the face. Like, not a chair, but literally just had a chair absolutely yeeted his way. There's no better word for it.
Yeah.
And he got colour from that. So, yeah, that's a really unwelcome Christmas present you'd expect. But
yeah, and he did Blade as well, didn't he?
It's definitely blood coming out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what we did say at the end of the last match was Lawrence Roman had to be helped to the back. So the Hector knees, end up looked like he was taking a bad bump, so he was out of this. Ended up being Icarus coming out to help Dreisker in the main event. And Masha got some help from Killer Kelly. And you had one of your predictions come true week of Oscar in Carat. Well, MK Ultra debuting in WXW as a pairing, at least in some form.
I'm claiming it.
Yeah, well, hey, it didn't drop in English until 2024, so have it. But yeah, so Kelly going through the Valet de Mort for Shades of Shibata for still calling of that. Yeah, end of the day, Masha did really naked choke. Dreisker fell back and fell back to breaking pinner. And yep, that's the women's title. What 5-6 years? It lasted. they did have Match and Kelly out at the end, to do a whole, don't be sad, remember the good times, and we can still chat, swimming can still challenge for the shotgun belt, for tag belts, even the world title, and they did plant seeds for Match going back for a unified title now. So yeah, I mean, I know there's all the heaval uproar when the match was announced, and maybe not quite so much when they actually pulled the trigger on it, which surprised me a little bit. But at the same time, we said in past shows, the roster of called women's division, if you want to use that term,
It's thin on the ground.
had been very thin. Okay, you can say in the last few shows you've had Jane New, you've had Tank, you've had Julia, who's been doing some of the Academy shows as well. But that's only three names. Baby Allison's being kept out of the picture. I'd almost say has to be deliberately at this point. So yeah, it's a case now. Michelle Green, who's been going around, most of the festival weekend shows, which I find weird. Outside of obviously this one, but she's been mostly restricted for festival weekends. Obviously, you have got the names there, but really not enough unless you were going to be doing the to make comparison with Rev Pro North. We used to have the old Ginny division where it was he's the champion and he challenged the month with nobody else on the cards. So I suppose again we don't know if long term this is it or it's going to be back in the old days where it was the one woman you pushed, and I had Melanie Gray back in the day, and whoever was local or whoever was traveling through at the time. But I'd say at this point they absolutely do need to keep doing what they're doing in terms of bring names on, establish them, have your Tank on for more than one match, have them build up. Alice think when she's back from Japan or wherever she is, and build them up, get them established to a point where when we're fighting, it's even if there isn't a physical belt, it's for almost like an ace role for that kind of thing.
I think there's still space for it to come back. There could there's all manner of sort of nonsense that you can write in sort of story. Let's say WWE is a narrative promotion, so you can have sort of a storyline that could bring the title back. So it's not completely out of the realms of possibility that it does come back. I think they've been unfortunate. I think in 2023, obviously they lost Orshi early in the year. Which I'll be honest, they should have built the bloody division around her, but unfortunately she decided otherwise. I think it seems to be the prevailing opinion. It's an unfortunate thing. There's lots of people who are available who I think probably would be great to have more full time in WXW, but it's just you've just got to. I think they've been realistic and they've just canned it for now. I think.
It's never say never in terms of coming back, but I think what you don't want to be doing is retiring.
You don't
December,
want
bring back in
tokenism.
March.
You don't want tokenism. That's the thing. And you don't want it to be on somebody because they're the only people who justifies holding it. Ava taking it to. I think Ava taking it to America for 6 months. I think was possibly a warning sign. And that got zero bloody traction. Really, let's face it. There was very
especially when the opponents are like. I mean, we ran through back in the last year. It was a lot of the same names and the same promotions, which I think that may say a bit more about the Northeast scene in the States. But yeah, I mean, again, I say Amboss, tear it down, build it back from scratch, and see what the next generation does without the whole feeling of you have to book someone to be a champion, you have to book someone to be strong, and then book no challenge, because otherwise you end up in the role of you just cycle through everyone. They have the belt for however long, and nobody's a star, and everyone's spinning their wheels. But we'll see where it goes, and I know we'll go through upcoming cards in a bit. They do have a few names on upcoming shows, which is somewhat promising, but not in women's only matches. So we'll see where it goes. But of course, we did the shotgun vlog after this, and just running through the bits. I'm not going to go through matches which we've talked about, but we've got Stephanie Mays interrupting Mudo. They're reuniting at Back to the Roots. Levaniel did an absolute Andy storming out the building without saying a word after he turned on Yearn. And I guess the main ones we mentioned earlier was Baby Allison looks to be breaking out on her own, with Robin Christopher Forwer maybe showing some interest in bringing it on part as high performer.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Although, again, speaking with the storyline hat on, why would Robin Christopher Forwer care about the women's division if there's no titles to be won?
I think that's maybe a whole they need to at least work on to go, hey, I can give you wins, I can build you up and get the belt back. Even if we just was it who had the shiny SL Wrestling replica belt? If they do something ridiculous like that, no,
Yeah,
no,
Robert Christopher Forwer buys the title off Robert Driscoll or something. There we go.
joke. I could see something like that at least being pitched, but we'll see where this goes. Couple of quick rundowns for international stars because I guess this bit's kind of winding down now. So of course
Yep.
we talked about Oscar Leuber. He's on excursion. We'll see him next month at Rev Pro and Carat in March, if not sooner. Tempesta, Leighton Buzzard, and Endokara. So, good news: Endokara won the Big Japan Junior Heavyweight title, beating Kaji Tomato at Corcoran Hall on December 30th. Yes, that is a real name. Buzzard lost to Yu Aoki on January 2nd, also at Corcoran Hall. That's the Big Japan Strong Heavyweight belt. Both Buzzard and Tempest are back in Europe now. Buzzard this past Sunday worked for Rev Pro, beating Cameron Kai, and he's got Minoru Suzuki to Rev Pro next month at the 229 in London. So, top off from a frying pan into a fire.
Yeah, it's not the first time Suzuki's done the 229, so it's
Nope.
quite a exciting one. It's a big draw, but yeah, I obviously didn't catch the show at the weekend. How was Buzzard in comparison to how he was before?
He got a hero's welcome.
Okay,
I think a lot of
interesting.
people forgot, he tried to remove Michael Oku's eye,
Yeah,
which, short memories of the 229, but yeah, he's, come on leaps and bounds. A lot more fluid, a lot more crisp. I mean, hell, no, I'm not just going to do a quick type for how many matches he had when he was in Japan, but, previously he would have been working, and I know cage match hasn't been great on top of, ICW, but um, before he went to Japan, he had, what is it? So he had 60 matches in Japan. Sorry, 59 matches in Japan. And in 2023, he had 109 matches total.
yeah,
So those 4 months in Japan, he has been really all over the place in terms of matches. I mean, there's a Mark Buckledy of Must See Matches. He was over in Japan, saw him there, and some of these big Japan shows, like 2-3 shows a day.
yeah.
No, not necessarily he's being booked on, but like I'm looking now in this cage match, 21st, 19th October, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Like that's runs of shows you would never get in the UK. Outside the festival weekends you wouldn't get in Europe most likely. So, there's a
And
reason
also,
why
every day you're not working. You're rolling around in
in the
a
dojo
in the
training,
dojo,
trying
aren't
stuff
you?
out.
Yeah,
So it's the kind of thing where there's a reason people from Europe, if they can afford to, taking time and relocating to Japan for a few months. It's not just because their best mates will Osprey, because again Vendor Karen, I think he's staying in Japan for now. I think I saw a tweet this afternoon where he was saying about how you took advantage or you didn't know what you had. Um,
he's
so yes,
completely
so
right.
yeah, I mean, Vendor Karen, I mean, was it? No, Duex we had him a few times.
Sovereign Pro was the
So
big role. Yeah,
yeah, Body Slam. I think in the UK, yeah, he did more for like Passion Pro than he did in the UK.
yeah.
Which again, just we've said it countless times. Scouting in Britres is mostly, oh hey, who do you know? Are they putting a good enough word in? Are they nagging for promoted long enough?
Yeah.
But our loss is Big Japan's gain for now, it seems. But so yes, we've got that's them. We'll be seeing a lot more of definitely Oscar and definitely Leighton. Maybe not so much Tempesta, but who knows? Um, but anyway, coming up, we've got Back to the Roots. That's next weekend, January the 20th at the Turbine Hall. we've got pretty much a full card here. So the Käfig Schlacht, that's Igel Blanc against Joseph Fenech Jr., Axel Tischer against Sebastian Hackel, six-man tag of Robert Dreisker, Icarus, and Lawrence Roman against Cash, Dolnik, Hector Invictus, and Peter Tahani. Not in a cage, which I would have thought that maybe, that to me maybe would have been a bit more suited, had it not been Idle and Fenech, second match, whereas this one, I suppose, is dragging on the Amboss against Hector and Cash. And Cash has got that new John Cena shirt against Amboss, so see how that goes. We've got Yoshi of Pro Wrestling Noah. He's on excursion in basically Progress GWF, now WXW, taking on Ilya Bloom. Tristan Archer and Anil Marek taking on Rod and Flott. Rotations defending the shotgun belt against Jordan Oliver, who's back on a brief trip in Europe for the next few months. Fast Time Mood and Stephanie Mays reunite to take on Bobby Guns and Jane Nero. Can maybe look at that booking and wonder what's going on there, at least with one of those four. And Alex Duke against Mike. I would expect maybe one, if not two, Fight Forever matches to be added, but it's a pretty decent lineup for the first show of the year, at least.
Yeah, it kind of seems mad that that's like in a week's time, sort of next weekend. It doesn't feel like it should be that far.
It's flown by. And then,
it does fly by, doesn't it?
So 3 weeks after that, we've got a 2-night swing. A Dead End at February 9th at the Markthal in Hamburg. We've got, said earlier, Mike D and Mike D. Leon Slash and Mike D. And Mike D fighting himself, that'd be a hell of a match. But Leon Slash and Mike D, the two TNA lads in a Carat qualifier. Also got Bobby Guns and Lawrence Roman, another Carat qualifier, and non-qualifying action, Peter Tahani against Igel Blanc. The next night, it is sold out for in Bielefeld for the Road 16 Carat Gold. We've got 3 spots in Carat decided there. That's the last of the taped stuff before Carat. February 24th, Event Hall Airport, Noble Traveling. They've announced Axel Tischer against Leah Bloom. March 2nd, of the Huber Arena in Bad Säckingen with Mike D and Joseph Fenech Jr. And it's Carat. So, yeah, really, it's 3 shows. And what I'd say by this point next month, on February 9th, so January 9th, so February 10th, we in theory will know who's in Carat, unless we're holding off the last name. So yeah, it's coming around a lot quicker than we would expect, and we seem to say this every year.
Yeah, I say it's technically less than a month, less than 2 months now. So it's because it would have been as of recording, it would have been 8th of March, and it was obviously the 8th yesterday, being the 9th today. So yeah, we're pretty much 2 months away, really, aren't we?
So yes, so things for next show will be going through Back to the Roots. Another one probably mid-February with Markthal and Road to Carat, and then Carat preview. So yeah, let's say plenty of wrestling to do, but still everything's creeping up. As we said, if you're planning on heading over for Carat, Inner Circle sold out, and the rest for Carat tickets are not too far behind. So yeah, plenty to look forward to. And guess, Mike, that's going to do for another episode. The usual begging bit here, if you haven't already subscribed to us in your podcast app of choice, give us a good review in Apple Podcast or Spotify. Thumb's been subscribing all that on YouTube. Otherwise, we will do the shocked face. We'll do out of Carat if you don't subscribe and give a thumbs up before then. But out has to plug, Mike, before we log off for one more month.
No, as always, you can find me at Mike Kilby on pretty much every platform. All of them, I'm that. So yeah.
And again, at Big Back Body Drop on Twitter, at Back Body Drop and everything else, at Ian Wrestling for me and everything. But yeah, to say that will do it. We'll see you in a few weeks after Back to the Roots. I guess Mike will see you in London 2-9 next month. But until then,
for Oscar's homecoming.
Oscar's homecoming and his UK debut. Just remember to scream in time, eh? Cheers.